Hello, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Rocky. I am a professional performer and I make videos about theatre life and also just life in general. And if you're not new here, hello, thank you very much for coming back. I really appreciate it. Today's video, as you can see by the title, is going to be talking about the financial cost of being a performer. I'm going to talk about from the moment that you leave drama school as a graduate, the things that you need and the things that are sort of yearly costs. Some of them aren't yearly costs, some of them are daily costs, some of them are monthly costs, some of them are things you only need to get done maybe once every 2 to 3 years. But I thought it would be useful information if any of you are a new graduate or thinking about going into performing or thinking about going off to drama school. There is definitely a financial thing that goes along with it, but there are ways of making it work. All my performer and creative friends, whether they're MDs or dancers or singers or actors or all of the above, they all have a side hustle, so they all do something else or multiple other things on top of performing. I will talk about that in another video, so if you'd like to hear about that, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you get notified when I upload videos. I also want to give you a little disclaimer here that this is from my personal experience. I am a graduate in the UK, I live in London, and I've been out of drama school for 2 years. So it is now August 2020, so the information that I'm giving you is correct for this time. So if you're watching this in 10 years' time, it's probably different. And also if you live in a different country, it'll probably be different, but the kind of things you would need to spend money on are probably similar. The first thing is headshots, and I'm mentioning this first because you'll usually have them done at drama school when you're doing your showcase or your panel days. So you kind of enter the industry with them, and some people keep them for a really long time. Some people get them updated straight away when they sign with their agent because their agent likes a particular photographer. I have had 3 lots of headshots done since I've graduated. So I had one done when I was at drama school, then I had another set done about a year after that, and then another one maybe 6 months to a year after that. For me, the reasoning for having new headshots is simply because my hair has changed slightly. So when I was at drama school, my hair was a lot darker, it was shorter, and I had a fringe. Hi, here's my face. So these are a 10x8, I believe, which is sort of industry standard. It's kind of what you would take into an audition if they ask you to bring a hard copy of a headshot. This video is all about money, so let's talk about the money. The average price, I would say, for a good headshot photographer, for the sort of top 5 ones in the industry that are favoured by agents and that are recommended across the industry, are around £400 for the shoot, and some of them will include a certain amount of edits for that. So say you get the shoot and then you get 5 edited pictures, and then you have to pay a bit more on top to get any more than that. Some of them have less. It just depends on how they run. It does depend what package you go for. Some will be even more than £400. I've seen some for like £600 for like a 3-hour session. And then others do deals. They do like a half price off thing. And you can get like an hour shoot for maybe more around the 160 to like 200 mark. But I would say headshots are something you definitely want to prioritize, because it's the first thing that people in the industry see of you when they go on your CV. When you go into an audition, obviously they see you, but it's your face on a table that they're looking at, and it's your headshots that's on the shortlist when they're putting people into yes, no, maybe piles to bring in for auditions. So headshots are really important. If you are going to get your headshots printed, it ranges depending on what package you get. So you could get, I've got a list up here, but you could get, if you've got a 10x8, if you've got 10 of them, it will cost you £15 to be sent to you in 5 days. The next thing isn't a complete necessity, and there are definitely ways of doing it on the cheap, and that is showreels. I personally think that showreels are so valuable. I just think to be able to put something on your CV, on Spotlight, where a casting director can actually see you work, is like, why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you put that stuff up? I'm going to do a little plug here because I do have a showreel editing business, and I don't just want to plug my business because I want to plug my business. The reason I started it, and it is a very small business, is because I was looking at showreel editing and stuff. Some people are charging like minimum £125, not to film them, purely to edit them. And so I started Showreel Shop, which is what it's called. If you are interested, I'll leave it below. And I do Showreel edits for £50. So if you are in the business, if you're on the lookout for Showreel editing, to get a Showreel edited, pop me over a message. So Showreel editing, you're looking at between £50 and £150. Talking of showreels, if you are a singer or an actor or a dancer or a voiceover artist, you might want to get a showreel made. I have like an actor showreel or like a live performance showreel, which is kind of performance footage. So it's me on stage doing my job really. But I also have a vocal showreel, which is clips of me singing sections of songs. So you might want to get one of those done. But if you wanted to shoot your own showreel and you needed a scene and you needed someone to shoot it and edit it for you, then again, it comes with a cost, and those kind of packages come at a complete variety of prices. It just depends who you go to. But again, we're looking in the sort of £200 range and up. Same with a vocal showreel, around the £200 mark to get it recorded and put together. So you've got your headshots, you've got your showreel. Where are you going to put that? Well, obviously it will go on all your social media, it will go on your CV. But what is your CV? Well, if you're watching this video, you probably know what I'm talking about, and I've already mentioned it. It is your CV and it is Spotlight. So here in the UK, we have a website called Spotlight, and it is literally a directory of CVs. So you go on, and I'll show you my CV. I'll show you the printed version. You have your headshots at the top. It has who you're represented by, has your location, height, playing age, appearance, those kind of things, and it has your credits. Mine is categorized into musical, pantomime, commercial, recording, further credits, and then it's got your skills at the bottom, including like if you play any instruments, if you're good at any sports, if you've done stage combat, if you know, your vocal range, your accents, those kind of things. Spotlight is also where your agent will submit you for jobs and where jobs are advertised. So casting directors will put out breakdowns, which is where they say, we're casting Sandy in Greece and we need a 5'4" blonde. I mean, they wear wigs, so maybe not necessarily blonde, but you get my point. They put out a breakdown of what kind of performer they're looking for, and then your agent will look through the breakdowns and go, I've got a 5'4" blonde who looks a bit like Sandy on my books, submit. And then your CV, your Spotlight CV, is sent to the casting director, and then they can shortlist, and then hopefully you get an audition and hopefully you get a job and become an amazing on-stage artiste. Or just, you know, get a job, which would be really nice. Spotlight currently is £158 a year. And Spotlight is one of those things that everyone kind of needs. As much as it would be nice to sort of say, you don't need Spotlight, you can do it without, and you can. There's always a way outside of the norm, but generally the industry works through Spotlight, so it is one of those things that you will need. This next cost isn't compulsory, but it is, what's the word? Sort of looked on respectfully. It's kind of like that's a good thing to do, and that's being an equity member. So if you aren't aware, equity is the actors union, but it doesn't just support actors. I've got a little list for you here, so I'll read it out. Actors, singers, models, performers, directors, choreographers, designers, stage managers, and other creative workers in the industry in the United Kingdom. They are a great resource if you need help or advice, or if you've got a contract through and you're not quite sure and you want to double check that. You can always call up equity and be like, hello, I've got a contract through, don't know if this is right, what do you think? And they can advise you because they are experts, they know what they're talking about. You also have equity contracts, which are sort of equity approved contracts. They are things that sort of are equity standard, and there are other jobs that aren't equity contracts, so the pay is lower than what the union recommend, and it's your choice whether you do equity, non-equity, what kind of contracts you want to work. That's sort of a conversation you have with your agent, and you decide what jobs you're willing to do and not do. But equity is, as I say, not compulsory, not a must, but it is something, it's nice to sort of put a bit of money into the people that are looking after the industry and know that you can call them up and they will be there to support you. Your equity membership is worked out on your income. For example, the first bracket is if you earn less than £23,900 a year, you pay £136 a year, which is £11.33 a month. So you can split it into either a yearly payment or a monthly payment, but it is your choice. You don't have to join equity. You used to, back in the day, you used to have to join equity, but you don't anymore. I don't know what that accent was at all. The next things are things that, again, aren't like compulsory to get you in the audition room, but I would say if you're a performer, you're probably going to be doing these things. The first thing I'm going to mention is the Actors Centre, and this is basically a learning centre where you can go and do workshops, courses, lessons. So you pay your membership for a year and then you pay for classes or workshops on top of that. The cost for the Actors Centre membership at the moment is £75 a year, which compared to the other things is not a huge amount, but you do have to pay for your classes. Some courses could be, again, like £200 odd, depending on how long they last for, if they're like a week-long course. Some of them could be free, some of them could be £10. It just depends entirely what the class is, who's running it, and how long it goes on for. Along a similar line, there are dance classes, and if you're a dancer, or even if you're, a singer-actor that dances, I would say going to Pineapple and going to class is just so valuable, because you need to keep your skills moving, you need to keep those legs limbered, you need to keep those feet tapping. So I tend to go to Pineapple, and there you have to pay a daily membership. So you pay, it depends on what time you go. I think peak time is like £4 or £5, and then if you go at non-peak time, I think it's £2. So on a Monday, I usually do 3 or 4 classes, depending on what time I'm starting work in the afternoon. And a ballet class, which is usually longer, is I think £10, maybe 12. Because it's like an hour and a half. But generally the classes are £7 to £8, again, depending on who's running them and how long they are. They're usually about an hour long. If you think you're doing 6 classes a week at Pineapple, I'm just going to do some quick maths. 8 times 5, 40 plus 10. That's about £50. Oh wait, I haven't added on the membership. I was going twice, so that's £4 if I've gone twice at non-peak time, £54 a week. So you're looking at about £200 a month on classes just to dance. Yeah, I've never really done that maths, but it's quite a lot of money, isn't it? Maybe this is why we're all so broke. Moving on to the next one. If you're a musical theatre performer, if you're a singer, you probably want to go to singing lessons. Singing lessons can range in London, depending on who you go with. Again, all of this is depending on who you go with, is around £60 an hour. You might not want to see them every week, you might want to see them every fortnight or once a month, or only if you have an audition. It entirely depends on what you want to do. I would love to be able to afford to have a singing lesson like every week, maybe twice a week. That would be like amazing. But as I say, money, 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 money. The next thing, and this is it depends on what kind of performer you are, and it depends on if you're interested in doing it, but that is stage combat, and I love stage combat. I have just done my BADC standard, which I love it. I just love it. Most courses, from what I've gathered from looking around, average around £300. It depends on what level you're doing, how long you're there for. The next thing, again, not a necessity, but a lot of performers probably do it, and that's going to the gym. This is really dependent on where you are, what you have accessible to you in the area. I live in North London, as I said, and my gym is, I could see it if I leaned out my window far enough. It's so close to my house, and that is one of my favourite things about where I live. And so I go to a pure gym, and I think for me in my area it's £30 a month. Side note, I called up a leisure club thing, like a leisure centre, because they have a gym and a pool, and I asked them about, how much is it to be a member, and they were like £110 a month. I was like, why? Are you like airconning the building with gold dust? Like, what? The next thing is studio hire, which I haven't really needed to do that much. I'm lucky in that my housemates don't mind me singing. You might not live in a place where you can do that, or you might just really want some studio space where you can just belt your face off and have a great time, or you might want to film a show reel. You might want to practice some corner work, doing some kicks and turns across the floor. If you did want to do that, if you did want to hire a studio, again, ranges in price. But on average, I found it's around about £15 for like a session, so an hour. Another cost, which to me is an invisible cost because I never ever see the money go anywhere. I just don't see it. It's like, I don't know, it's sheet music. I cannot tell you how much sheet music I have. So I have my rep folder, which I'll show you here, which is pink because I like a pink. And I have like sheet music in here. These are songs that I take to auditions, and it looks scruffy because I've just taken all my stuff out, but I will put it back and make it neat again. I buy my sheet music from Music Notes, which on average is about £5 per song. I dread to think how much I've spent on sheet music. If I like brought up my thing on my account that tells me all the songs I've bought and I added it up, I don't even want to do it. Similar to that is sometimes you get sent stuff for an audition, you get sent sheet music, but they don't send you a backing track or an example track. A lot of companies do, but you might get like the rare one where they don't. And sometimes it's a song that doesn't exist anywhere else. It's like bespoke to their show. So sometimes you need to get it played by someone who plays piano. This could be your singing teacher. Next time you go along to your lesson, you can be like, hi, could you just play this please, because I have to learn this and I don't know how it goes. Or there are services online where you can send them a picture of your sheet music and they will record it for you in high quality and send it back. Again, about £15 to get a recording done for a backing track or to get your sheet music played for you. The next thing is not really something that you sort of go somewhere and pay for. It's like something that comes along with when you work. So if you have an agent, your agent will earn their money by working for you all the time and then getting a commission when you work. There are commission rates, and I'm going to give you sort of the average. Again, it does depend who your agent is and it depends what their commission rates are. Generally, it is 10% for stage, 15% for small scale media, and 20% for large scale media. So large scale would be like big blockbuster, huge films, and then small scale might be something like a small commercial that you do. And stage is obviously stage. So have a think about that. If you are ever reading a contract and it's like, you get paid £1,000, you're like, yes, I've made £1,000. But remember that the VAT and the commission for your agent will come out of that too. So you won't get the whole thing. The last few things I'm going to mention, I'm not going to give exact costs for because they are not really things that you have to do, but they are kind of like things that you should have in the back of your mind, thinking, oh yeah, they are things that go along with being a performer that are, you know, they have a little cost of their own. So things like audition clothes, for example, you might be someone that dresses super casual or super girly, and you don't really have like a lot of grungy stuff in your wardrobe, but then you get an audition for We Will Rock You and you're like, I only have really girly stuff in my wardrobe. Maybe I need something a bit more grungy. So then you go to the shop and you're like, I'm going to get me some Doc Martens or some cheap ones, because why not get the cheap ones? There are sometimes occasions where you do get an audition for something and you're like, I don't really have anything in my wardrobe for that. The other thing is watching shows. So it's good to go and watch shows. A lot of the time, if I go and see a show, it's because I know someone in it, or I'm going with someone that has some kind of like relation to it. But it is good, apart from that, to just go and see theatre so that you know what's going on in the industry and so that you've got an idea of what the shows are like. And also, if you're a performer, you probably like theatre, so you probably want to go be watching it. Really good grammar, yeah. Another thing is renting shows online to watch. Again, this isn't a huge necessity. You don't have to do this. But I'm someone that wants to do as much research as possible. So if I get an audition for, I don't know, Taming of the Shrew, and I'm like, I mean, I'm a musical theatre performer with a musical theatre agent. Highly unlikely that I'm going to go in for Shakespeare. Not impossible, but unlikely. As much as I'd love to do that. That'd be great. Anyway, if I haven't seen that before and I go, oh my God, I'm going in for an audition, and if I've never seen Taming of the Shrew before, then I'm going to think, I need to watch that. I need to learn about it. I need to try and read it if I can. I need to learn about what this is. The other thing you need to think about is working for free or for low pay. I have done both of those things, and both I think are beneficial. Again, that's your choice. It's your agent's choice. It's a conversation you can have with your agent and decide what you want to do. But me, I'm like, yeah, if I can afford it, if I can work it into my schedule and I can financially afford to do it, then I will 100% do it. So yeah, there are times when you work for free or you work for very, very low pay. I have worked where we worked it out once, the amount of hours that we were actually in the theatre from rehearsal, including the shows, we were on something crazy less than £5 an hour, which was painful. Maybe just don't do that maths. If you are on a low pay job, you'll know it's a low pay job. But yeah, I was just like, it's not a surprise that I'm exhausted because I'm doing my normal day job, plus auditioning, plus doing this. You can wear yourself out because you don't have a choice, that you have to keep working when you're paid low pay. The other thing is taking off time from work. I have a lot of side jobs and I think it's a good thing to do. It means if you get an audition and that one job that you do is twice a week, it means that you've still got your other jobs. It's not like if you've got one main 9 to 5 and then you're like, oh, I need to miss a day of work. They're going to be like, no, a lot of jobs won't let you do that. If you need to go in for an audition, whereas the kind of jobs that you want to be aiming to get as side jobs are jobs that understand who you are and what you do, and also the fact that you might have to call them up the day before and be like, I can't come in. I will do another video on that, so keep your eyes peeled, and I will talk about that in more depth in another video. But yeah, just something to keep in mind is that you will lose money going to auditions because, especially if you're self-employed and you're not on a salary, you don't get that money back. You just don't. And the last thing, which I think I probably should have mentioned this early on, is where you live. Most performers will live in London. I live in London. You don't have to. You don't have to. You can live anywhere as long as you're happy to travel in. Living in a city or the city where all the bubble and all the activity is, where the industry is, costs a lot of money. The rent here is obscene, it's so expensive. You're looking at, on average, again, depending on where you are, about £500 a month without bills. And that is on the lower end. I've seen places advertise £750 a month. If you share with someone and you're willing to share a bed with them, say you live with your partner, then that could reduce the cost a lot. If I don't know, you've got a best mate and you're like, yeah, I'll share a bed with you, that brings the rent down, great. There are ways around it, but I thought that was worth mentioning as a lot of people move here because of performing and the living costs here are a lot. Along with that is travel. The tube is a lot. I did a tax return and my travel expenses were £3,000. I was like, £3,000? I was like, how? How? What? So basically now I've got a bike. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope it was useful. I know throughout I said a lot of, it depends who you go to and it's personal preference, but it really is. I will put links in the description below for anything I've talked about, anything that I think might be useful for you. But if there is something that is missing off there that you're looking for, feel free to comment below and I'll get back to you and hopefully help you out. I'm no expert, but I am living the performer life and thought I would share what I've learned with you. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit the like button. It does really help. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I am RockyApplebee on there and I will leave all of that information in the description below. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Love you guys. Goodbye.